Hey, what's up everyone? Gamer Guy 7 Aces back with some more Sonic Forces news. And I know my previous video, a couple weeks ago, I made a video called the Sonic Forces Fatigue. And I said I wasn't going to do another video on Sonic Forces until I see some gameplay that I actually like. Well, today is that day, isn't it? Today is that day. Now today we got some new Gamescom footage of the tag team gameplay from Sonic Forces, and I didn't know what to expect when I heard that, because I saw pictures of it, screenshots with Sonic interacting with you, the avatar, your avatar, and I was talking to Premi, I'm like, there is no way this can be 2D. I don't see how tag team gameplay can work in 2D. It has to be 3D. It has to be completely 3D, otherwise it's not going to work. Well, speak of the devil, because the gameplay we got was completely 3D. This is what I wanted from Sonic Forces. You know, like, we don't need the 3D, 2D side-scrolling, but the 3D is terrific. I loved it, and I have to say, out of all the gameplay so far, Classic, Avatar, Modern, Tag Team, the Tag Team is the most interesting and impressive for a lot of reasons. It's not just because it's 3D. Honestly, it's not only because of that, because it can be 3D and still be linear and boring. But honestly, the best part of this level is when they enter the factory. The first half is a bit linear though, but I can understand as they're running basically in a straight line up that little trail, you know, to enter into the pyramid. And that is the pyramid factory that we see in the background of classic Sonic stage. So it's really cool that Sonic is doing that with the avatar. And I have to say, even though this is Green Hill Zone, it's the most original looking level in the game, even though it's still Green Hill. It doesn't look like Green Hill. For the most part, the green grass is radiated. It looks dead. It kind of reminds me of Mushroom Hill Zone in Sonic 3 Knuckles. You know, so it might as well be called White Hill Zone, but this is what I want to see. If Sega is going to bring in old levels, make them completely new and different, that it might as well be a new level. You know, and I know it's not going to be called Green Hill, thank God. It's going to be called another level. So I like that. And the part I love about, the reason why I love the factory section the most, and I want to see more of that, because there was a lot of 3D platforming. Like, it's not just boost to win as a lot of fanboys like to, you know, criticize recent Sonic games. There's a lot of 3D platforming, and I think I saw multiple sections, especially for your Wisp spawns, because, you know, a lot of people, there are a couple people that criticize the Wisp spawns, saying that they fall flat. You know, it's just a brief different path that leads you down the same area. Like, there might be a set of rings up above you just to interact with the Wisp spawns, but it still leads you in the same area. But I actually saw some rings that branched out in another area. So if you had the lightning wisp, you could take that path. There were also like red hoop rings in another path on the left, where you can use the, not the rocket wisp, or the flamethrower wisp spawn to burst up in there and get led to the left or whatever. So I like that. I want to see more of that. The factory part definitely looks the best, you know. And yeah, so I have to say, the factory area did give me a lot of Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric vibes. A lot of people aren't going to say this, but, you know, I tell it like it is. The factory reminded me a lot of Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric, you know, just aesthetic wise. And you guys who know the game or played the game Rise of Lyric know exactly what I'm talking about. But this is much better, you know, and this just proves the whole theory about, you know, Boom being the prototype character for the avatar, you know. And the tag team, a lot of people saying the tag team is like Sonic Heroes and Sonic Heroes, but to be honest, with the avatar and the Wisp spawn, the tag team reminds me a lot of Shadow the Hedgehog, just a lot better. So it has Heroes vibes, but the tag team gameplay is more Shadow the Hedgehog, since you're 2 instead of 3, you know. And this is what I want to see. Like I said, I want to see Sega continue progressing, because when I was talking to Pep said even though he loves the boost gameplay of Generation and stuff, he says, do we really need to get an exact replica of that when we have seen almost every single iteration of the boost gameplay via Sonic Generations PC mods? Like, we don't need to see that again from Sega. I want to see Sega evolve with Generations gameplay, just like Generations evolved from the Sonic Colors gameplay. And I was talking to Pep, I told him I like how, you know, there's a lot of from the factory section, it looks like there's multiple pathways and 3D platforming, just like Generations. Generations had 2D platforming, don't get me wrong. But there were also a lot of 3D platforming too, like in Seaside Hill or Crisis City, you know, Sky Sanctuary, you name it. And that's what I want to see more. The level design actually looked pretty interesting, even in the linear section in the first part of the level in Green Hill. So I hope Sega continues doing this, because my hype should be way higher for Sonic Forces than it is right now. I mean, I still need to play Sonic Mania because, you know, I got it on PC, but I should equally be excited for Forces. So yeah. And another thing I want to talk about is the Wisp controls. Now, I can already tell when the game releases, people are going to have their favorite Wisp and their least favorite Wisp. And when I was talking to my friend, I told him, you know, so far the Wisp that I'm loving a lot is the Lightning Wisp, because it's basically like the light dash and you can use the whip. However, I've seen a lot of newbie people, casuals, playing Sonic Forces, and they suck. I mean, what's new? A lot of people suck playing Sonic games, but the Lightning Wisp kind of, it's kind of hard to control for newbies when they play Sonic Forces. I've seen it several times. They try to spam or mash the attack button with the Wisp and then it sends them flying off the stage, because anytime your avatar uses the whip, it moves forward. So when you keep on doing that, it's going to move forward off the ledge. And like I said on Twitter, I hope, you know, this is not going to be a detriment to the game, because critics are definitely going to bash on Sonic Forces because of the Wisp gimmicks and how it controls the avatars, and they're going to make excuses for their shitty gameplay, saying that, you know, the controls are bad or slippery. I think Sega should lock all the Wisp-ons and make the flamethrower Wisp-on the default for, you know, especially for if you're jumping right in the game. The flamethrower looks like the most accessible, the most easy to learn, and it's very spammy. All you do is you just use it to plow down your enemies with the flamethrower, and it's pretty straightforward and easy, and then you can also use the burst. So I think what Sega needs to do is lock all the Wisp-ons, make the flamethrower Wisp-on, or the red burst, the one that's available, and experienced players can unlock the other Wisp-ons as you progress through the games. I would like to see, since the Wisp-ons basically, you know, they represent guns and weapons, I like to see the rest of them unlocked, because I don't want a casual or IGN critic or whatever to get the Lightning Wisp-on or the Blue Cube Wisp-on or the Void Wisp-on right when they start playing the game, because they're just going to blame it on the game instead of, you know, how they play. So I think Sega needs to do that and make the easy Wisps the ones that are available, the default weapons. And then as you progress, as you're a more experienced player, you can choose which Wisp-on you want to use, you know, because I think this game, how you enjoy the avatar's gameplay is specifically going to depend on what Wisp-ons you use, especially for certain levels. So that's all I wanted to say about that. Now, Sega also posted Metal Sonic's theme, since Metal Sonic is going to be a boss and a presence in Sonic Forces, and it's sick. The theme is sick. They took the US soundtrack theme from Sonic CD. So that was totally unexpected, because, you know, ever since Sonic Generations in 2011, they've always been remixing the Japanese theme for Metal Sonic. They did it in Sonic Generations. They did it in mediocre fashion in Sonic 4 Episode 2. They also did it again in Sonic Mania. So I'm glad that they used the US soundtrack for Sonic Forces, and it sounds modern. You know, a lot of people who aren't that familiar with Sonic CD or only know the Japanese soundtrack, they wouldn't even know that this is a remix. So I love it. You know, I actually really like it, and I hope the Metal Sonic bosses is going to be interesting. But this leads me to my main complaint, and that is still Classic Sonic. Now I know, because of Mania, now Classic Sonic has the purpose now to be in Sonic Forces, because the story confirms that Mania is the prelude to Forces. But still, like, Classic Sonic just doesn't have a reason to be in the game. The tag team gameplay is strictly modern Sonic in your avatar. Classic Sonic is not going to take part in any of that action, because it's not the way Classic Sonic plays. And the funny thing is, that's in the background. The white pyramid is the background of Classic Sonic's Green Hill Zone. So Classic Sonic still feels like an outcast in this game. He still feels like an outlier, something that shouldn't have even happened. And Premi told me that's because this game was in development before Mania. You know, Sonic Forces has been in development since 2013, Sonic Mania since 2015. So I'm pretty sure Sonic Team had no knowledge about Sonic Mania. I'm pretty sure if Mania was developed before Forces, Classic Sonic wouldn't be in this game, because I don't know, Classic Sonic just still feels like the third wheel. I don't even know what to say about that, but I even put memes and posted funny tweets about it, like, man, like, I can already tell what's going on in Classic Sonic's mind. I shouldn't have gone through that damn portal, or something like that. But yeah, so my opinions of Sonic Forces before the tag team gameplay still remains the same. I'm not changing them radically, but I do love the tag team gameplay, and I actually kind of hope majority of the game is the tag team gameplay, or at least 50%, because that means we're going to get mostly a 3D game. But what do you guys think about this? Do you think that Sega is making too many gameplays? Because right now we have 4 different kinds of gameplays, which is the most variety of gameplay since Sonic 06. This is having adventure vibes. So what do you think about it? And what are your stances on classic Sonic's presence in this game? Period. Let me know your thoughts down below. Take care, guys. See you next time for any news that pops up. And yeah, until next time, swag out.